Thanks, Shrek.
You're welcome, laddie.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, what is going on? So, let's talk about Marvel's Avengers 2. Now, before I get into this video, I do want to say that everything I say here today comes from sources, comes from just general information, comes from general chatter, and I don't want people to take this as confirmation that Marvel's Avengers 2 is even happening, because the information that I have kind of tells me otherwise anyway, right? Also, it's not just about, you know, everything I do know. We're going to talk a little bit about, you know, what I think it could have been, and all that good stuff. But before we get into this, be sure to like and all that good stuff, and be respectful in the comments. I will not have anything like the last video with people coming at content creators sideways, because you'll get a slap on the arse. So let's get straight into this. So I did speak to someone who was very close to the project back in the day, and now here's the thing, right? So this information given to me was around the 21st of October last year. Now the reason that I've decided to do a video on this now is because time has passed, which means that obviously this information is probably less likely to lead back into this individual, but it is still important regardless, and it is still, you know, it's still relevant because the person still experienced these things, right? So let's talk about it. So basically I was asking about everything, right? I was asking about everything, and the information says, right, ending next year if this is all true. The plan was 3 to 5 years, and based how things did, 3 looks likely. So obviously talking about the reputation of the game. Legally they have to do at least 2+ years because of years to come, plural years. Obviously Spider-Man was a contractual obligation. That is great. So I asked about, what was CD up to, right? And this is where I got a bit of confirmation about Perfect Dark, and also the Tomb Raider project that was revealed a little while ago. And I was dead confused, and I was kind of annoyed about this. I was like, what do you mean that they've decided to bin off the Avengers IP for Tomb Raider? So this is where I got a bit of information. So this was said here. Avengers was codenamed AV1 at CD, so clearly they wanted to do an AV2. Now, we know this, because if you go on Steam, if you go in their fancy database, it does say AV1 anyway, so the plan was definitely to do that. The individual says, but who knows if they get to keep the license. Square might say, no, you don't get this. Obviously, now it's Embracer. Embracer could still, give a green light to Avengers 2, but by the looks of it, that doesn't seem to be the case, as they were, so, there was a choice, according to this, between doing Avengers and Legacy of Kain, right? And they obviously went for the money route. They went for Marvel's Avengers. That makes sense. I get it. I understand that, right? But that was the idea back then, that they had a choice and they went with Avengers because obviously that is going to make the most coin. I understand that. According to this individual, the idea was 2 teams, 1 in development, 1 in release/live support, like 1 releases, 1 supports, and then you repeat that, and that was how they were going to be doing Avengers 1 to Avengers 2, right? It was going to kind of be like a Destiny type thing, and I think that would have been really, really good. I did ask, obviously, like, they wanted to do an Avengers 2, and obviously the response was, of course they did, like, duh, do you know what I mean? One of the big things as well that you guys might be kind of interested in knowing is that Guardians of the Galaxy really played a big part in this kind of thing in general. If Guardians of the Galaxy was a total bust, I think that, Square obviously sold him regardless, but I think when it comes to kind of dealing with the Marvel thing, I think it would have been kind of all axed from there if Guardians just completely failed, and obviously it didn't do well, like, for their expectations and stuff like that. Obviously, they weren't too thrilled about Guardians, so at the same time, that's probably one of the reasons you're probably not going to be seeing an Avengers 2 or anything like that anytime soon. But obviously, like I said, I can't speak. I'm trying to get this out. The person said, back in time, CD had a choice to choose between Legacy of Kain remake that was like Lord of the Rings: Shadow of War, or to do Avengers. Obviously, I understand that. I mean, around, Endgame and stuff like that. But obviously, the person said it's just a bummer we'll never get another one. So there you go. So that is what I know about what Avengers 2 was supposed to be like. It was essentially supposed to be like, Avengers is out, let's get working on Avengers 2. Keep support on that. We'll get Avengers 2 on the go. But obviously, given that what happened with Avengers 1, that doesn't seem to be the case anymore. And it does seem like Embracer is trying to set up CD to do Legacy of Kain, Tomb Raider, and all their other IPs as well. So in order to see Avengers 2, something big would have to change with this game. I imagine that they're going to be finishing all their contractually obligated heroes, get Captain Marvel out the way, and then obviously Embracer, if they decide they want to continue things, they will, but it won't be in the form of Avengers 2. They'll just keep building up on Avengers 1, just from this information that I have here. Now, you got to remember, before anyone comes after me, this isn't information I'm going to be able to show you. This isn't information I'm going to be able to do it with, but I can sort of give a bit of a vouch that, Miller has seen some of these things before, just for the sake of information in general, just to sort of be like, hey man, how you doing? So hopefully, hopefully you can sort of vouch that this wasn't just for the sake of a video. I have spoken about this in the past to some friends as well. But there you go. So, obviously, with Avengers 2, they could have done so much more. They could have released with a lot more villains. They could have released with a lot more sort of locations. They could have fixed gear up a little bit. They could have made it so that, in general, people just had a lot of a better time when they started Avengers 2. And they really could have sort of made something better of it. But unfortunately, I just don't think that's going to happen. And I think they're going to be playing catch-up with Avengers 1 for the longest time. Now, again, be respectful in the comments. Be respectful everywhere else. I'm just telling you guys what I learned a while back, that essentially TLDR, there was going to be an Avengers 2 because of their just general plans, and it was an idea to get Avengers 1 out, work on that post-launch support whilst producing and working on Marvel's Avengers 2. But obviously, given the reaction to Avengers 1, I'm assuming that got axed completely, which would also mean, by the way, back when Crystal Dynamics was a part of Square Enix, it would have been the third Marvel game in the sort of, in the process, which would have been the last for their Marvel license. So obviously now, we know we're going to be getting something else from Square Enix, and whatever happens to Embracer happens. Hey guys, for watching this video today. Let me know what you think down below. Sorry that it isn't exactly the most, exciting thing in the world. I really wanted to be sat here being like, yo, Avengers 2 confirmed, but I'm setting expectations that from what I know, it just isn't going to happen, and we are going to be with Marvel's Avengers 1, right? So, sorry about that, but hopefully you guys, can take something from this, and I appreciate you all very much. I'll see you in a bit. Peace.